All right, folks, so here we have it, fresh off the presses, OSX 10.10 Yosemite. So I went ahead and downloaded and installed the beta as soon as the WWDC keynote was over and the files were made available. And I installed it on an external USB hard drive. And what this video is meant to be is just a quick overview of what the new OS looks like from a UI perspective and some of the design elements. I'm going through and learning some of the new features like the continuity features, the iCloud Drive features, some of the new cool stuff that I'm kind of having a hard time finding as I'm digging through the OS. Maybe they haven't been enabled yet in this build of the beta. The same way as they were during the WWDC keynote. So this video is going to be meant to just show some of the cool new redesign elements and redesign features. So as you can see here, I am running a 2013 MacBook Pro Retina Edition. Here's the specs of that system, and you can right off the bat see new design elements in the window. It's got a much newer kind of a postmodern design. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. When I first saw the new interface, it was on my old 2009 MacBook unibody plastic laptop, and the graphics card and the display on that laptop actually made this new kind of it's not necessarily one tone, but there's not a lot of difference here between this gray and this gray. So it's, you know, the palette is not quite as defined. On an old laptop, it looked horrible. I actually was praying that they were going to update the look of the UI in a newer build when I first saw it. And that's when I went ahead and decided to install it on an external drive on my MacBook to see what it looks like. And here on my Thunderbolt display, and as well as the MacBook built-in display, I have to say the design elements and the OS actually look really, really good. It's not, it is a big change. You know, away are the kind of bubbled out buttons that we used to have in exchange for these new flatter looking buttons. And I know the term flat's not necessarily the right term to use to describe it, but that's the term I'm going to use because these don't look like they pop off the screen anymore or pop off this window. They look like they're just flat and part of the window. So here we can get some information about storage. You can see the two drives that I've got plugged in, support information and service information from this. But as you can see, we've got the new toolbar. I'm sorry, the dock. We've got the dock. I moved the dock over to the left. That's just how I like it. So I put the dock over here. You can see the transparency, so you can see the color coming from the background. And if I were to actually come into System Preferences and change that background, you'll see the dock taking on a totally different appearance based on the colors that are behind it, which is actually pretty cool. I like this elephant shot the most because it kind of has that just like a frosted glass appearance with this color scheme. So the dock and the transparency is going to be very evident as you go through and use different backdrops, and whether you have custom backdrops or use the built-in backdrops. If we go back and let's just open up the hard drive and we can take a look, you can see the transparency again over here on the left-hand side from the Finder view. And the Finder's got a bunch of new improvements. One of the coolest new improvements, obviously, besides the transparency, the new look of the icons. Oh, and by the way, the transparency is very reminiscent of the arrow transparency in Windows 7 when Windows 7 came out, which I thought that was kind of interesting when I was watching the WWDC keynote. I was like, that looks familiar. But so we have that transparency. We've got a new set of icons. There's a dark mode, which I don't know how to turn the dark mode on. Dark mode is going to make your toolbar as well as your dock kind of reverse and go into a dark. It's meant to focus on the application that you may be using. So like if I had Wikipedia open, this would all get dark and kind of make the web browser pop out or the email pop out. A couple of new changes to Safari. So let's say I had a bunch of tabs open and all these tabs are going to be the same. I now have the ability to scroll through. I don't have enough open. Here we go. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of tabs open on the left. I can now scroll through these tabs very quickly and easily, kind of the old cover flow style. Click on the tab and it'll take me there. There is also a new overview mode where all of your tabs are going to give you a thumbnail. And if you've got similar pages, so let's say I opened this Wikipedia up and I go back to this view, it will stack like web pages together. So if you had multiple pages for, you know, eBay or Wikipedia or Pinterest, whatever the heck you're looking at. If you got a lot of them, it's going to start stacking in this view, which is kind of cool. This would obviously look a lot better if I had some pages open, but I don't have any specifically preloaded. We've got some new integration with the search, not the search bar, but the URL bar in the new version of Safari, which we're looking at. So if I was to type in movies and hit the movies button, actually that's not... There we go. What I was looking for. You can see that movies, if I just type in, it's just like Spotlight. It integrates Spotlight. I can see that there's 3 movies playing within, you know, playing nearby right now. And then I've got Google search information as well. So if I wanted to come in here and see, do a search for movies 2014, I can immediately go there. And this will also look for documents. I don't have any documents really set up on... Hang on, SPRE. Yeah, so I don't have any documents on this machine that are being recognized right now. Otherwise, this would also bring up a documents list, just like the new Spotlight. And speaking of the new Spotlight, you know, we've got Spotlight over here. Let's go ahead and hit Apple Space and bring Spotlight up. We now get Spotlight directly in the middle of our screen. It's very front and center, very predominant. So if I was to type in movies, bam, it's going to bring in top movies now playing in theaters. That'll open up a link on Safari. I can see additional information. I can see a dictionary. I can get folder information. So this is also going to search my local drive as well. And then I got emails, web pages, developer, and then there's a social aspect as well on here where it'll show me things if I've got a Twitter account located, or not located, but attached. It'll bring all of that information as well. So that's kind of the new Spotlight, which is pretty sweet. And there's lots of cool new continuity features. Continuity is this new feature where your iOS 8 and your OSX 10 Yosemite are going to interface very, very well together and allow you to be working on a document on your computer, walk away and open up and pick up exactly where you left off with no hesitation, no downloading, no anything, using the new iCloud features with the new iCloud Drive. So there you have it, just a quick overview of what the new OS looks like with some of the new design elements and the transparencies. They've redesigned pretty much every aspect of it. I really would like to figure out how to put the dark mode on. Yeah, it's just going to look up emails, which would be really cool if I could figure that out. But this is the new email client that has come up as well with lots of new features. But anyways, quick UI overview of the new OSX 10.10 Yosemite. Stay tuned to the page for additional videos. We're going to do one on iOS 8 as soon as we get that up and running. I'm installing it on my iPad now. I'm going to determine whether or not it's stable enough to install on my iPhone. I don't care so much about my iPad having a beta app, but I'm not sure I want to have a beta app if it's unstable on my iPhone. So we'll evaluate it and we will bring you additional videos. And once I learn some of the new features of the continuity, how to enable dark mode, how to answer the phone calls with your Mac using your Mac as a speakerphone that's integrated with an iPhone, all the cool stuff that we saw at WWDC, I'll definitely make additional videos, so stay tuned for those. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if there's any specific feature that you would like to see in an upcoming video that I'm going to do specifically dedicated to the new announcements of OSX 10.10 Yosemite or iOS 8. So thanks again, and we will see you in the next video.